Welcome to the technically called the New Delhi Hug, and I'm your friendly, hug leader. I've been doing this into sixth year now, I think. Sorry, I don't remember anymore, but yeah, I think it's the sixth year we've been running the Hug event. Mm. Hugs are, HubSpot user group. It's a community of HubSpot users across the globe. There are about 150 odd hugs across the globe, and Nispe leads one of them. Like I said, we've been doing this since 5, 6 years now, and over the years, we went from physical events to online events, obviously due to the pandemic. But the events and the community has continued to grow, especially with the online events. It has given us the chance to interact with people not just within a city, not just within the country as well, right? Um, I still remember when we used to do the physical events in Delhi. We would get sometimes people from about 300 kilometers away from Delhi as well, because they would say, "Hey, there is no hug event in my city, but I found this, so we came over." Right? So it was nice, but I think this is even better, right? We have people from Luxembourg and Spain and Singapore, right? Everybody is just joining in from wherever they can. And I think that's the idea of a community, right? As long as we're having the same objective, which is learning, and we are using the same technology, which we all love, HubSpot, right? So we're all here to learn together, right? So yeah, so hugs are for that reason. Uh, Nisway, one of the diamond partners for HubSpot, we run this every quarter. So every quarter there will be one learning session, and then obviously there are communities, on LinkedIn and Facebook where you can join. But again, just like any other communities, people from all over are there. Today's topic, it's very interesting. It's very something that that came into HubSpot very recently. HubSpot has been moving fast, and especially from a developer standpoint, it's been moving, by leaps and bounds. I will say, a couple of years ago or 3, 4 years ago, there were hardly any, HubSpot developers, but now we see huge developer communities. Even the, developer bootcamp launched this year, right? So HubSpot has been moving fast in that area. It's not just meant for marketers or sales folks, but also a lot of developers building solutions on top of HubSpot, right? So going with that theme, we thought it might be a good idea to get into something which is new, recent, but also solves a lot of challenges that we were not able to solve earlier, right? So with the UI changes that have come across that HubSpot launched last year, right? So now we can have UI changes, we can do extensions within HubSpot, and that's if you've not heard or you don't know what that is, don't worry, that's exactly what we're going to cover today. Um, so yeah, so without much ado, let's get into it. Uh, Today, I have two folks from Nisway, Dhiraj, who is also the CTO at Nestle, and Deepak, who's a solutions architect when it comes to HubSpot solutions. So they are going to talk about, how you can get your journey started with CRM, UI extensions, and so Dhiraj comes from a technology standpoint. Deepak comes more from a business standpoint, right? So they're going to talk about it together so that you get both the perspective and how to go about it. When we are to implement it. If you're from an agency, you know, like Miguel here, right? So you can think about how you can solve various use cases for your customers. And if you are an end user, your company is using HubSpot. Obviously, you can think about use cases, or you can even ask. At the end of it, at the end of the session, you can ask questions to these folks, and get your thinking going. That okay, this is my problem statement. How do you think we can solve? And people will be happy to take your questions towards the end of the session. Okay. I'm guessing no questions right now, so I'll pass the ball to Deepak and Dheeraj. Guys, over to you. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks, Abhinav, for the introduction. Okay, hi everyone. Good to see quite a lot of people interested in something which is fairly new at HubSpot and opens a lot of possibilities. So it's always great to see people recognizing these new opportunities which can unlock a lot of business potential. So yeah, let's start right away. Let me share my screen. Just give me a second. Okay. I guess my screen is now visible. Sure. Okay. Dhiraj, you can maybe confirm. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
can see now.
Okay. Great. So yeah, why are we here? So HubSpot last year, and by the way, the topic of this hug is something which is still in beta, so it's not a fully rolled out, set of functionalities or features that we are talking about today. And that just makes me more excited seeing the people who are there. Like I earlier said, it's something, the CRM UI extensions that HubSpot launched last year. Um, uh, is a set of functionalities, features in HubSpot that just unlocks a lot of possibilities when it comes to customizing the HubSpot CRMs. Okay. Folks who are here from various agencies, and if you have been in conversations with how customizable certain other platforms are compared to HubSpot. Yeah, HubSpot is great, easy to use when we are starting, but yeah, as the business gets complex and then more and more teams start using it, it's not as customizable as we would want. So this CRM UI extensions is basically what gives the power to HubSpot to be as customizable and fit the narrative that the customer wants to establish within their CRM. So let's get started right away. So myself, I'm at Nestle for now 7+ years. At this point, I do most of the solution consulting. So be it pre-sales, post-sales, that's my role at this way, gather business requirements and try to see how HubSpot can, solve those business requirements, solve those business challenges. Um, Dhiraj, you might want to introduce yourself.
So I am CTO at Nisway, and then I have been a developer since like more than 12 years, and uh, that's it. I'm very much into development. I love new technologies, and as it comes into HubSpot, um, if HubSpot is becoming more developer centric, then I'll be the most happiest person.
Yeah. So great. That's about us. This is the agenda, everyone. So we are going to start with, because it's something which is still in beta, so it does make sense to spend, some amount of time to understand what exactly are CRM UI extensions. So we'll do that. We'll kick off with that. Then we will discuss some, we'll look at an example, very short one, and then discuss a few use cases, between myself and Dheeraj. So we'll be, discussing. And I would encourage, like, when that use case discussion is happening, if you can catch some use cases that you are already having at your business, do, feel free to put them in the chat, or I don't know if Simran, if people can unmute themselves and then share that. But yeah, whatever option is available, whether that's chat or if you can unmute and share, feel free to share your own use cases, and then we would love to just have a discussion on that between myself and Dheeraj, and kind of see what whether that is something which CRM UI extensions enable, and if yes, then how, right? So we're going to spend a good amount of time on looking at examples and use cases. So you go back with a holistic understanding of, okay, this is a new feature, but where I can use it eventually, right? Post that, we are going to look at some of the best practices. When it comes to implementing CRM UI extensions. So going to spend some time on that. It's fairly new, so there's always that fear: am I doing it right? Are there any best practices around? So we're going to discuss those. At the end, we're going to share some prerequisites, like this is a feature that requires certain knowledge before you can just use it, and then there are resources also, as it is fairly new. So we'll share some resources as well, and once the session gets over, you're going to get this deck, and it will have all these resources, everything that we are talking about, so you have a good starting point, be it as a solutions person who is thinking to solve a certain problem a certain business problem, or be it as a developer who is trying to learn about UI extensions and implement them, etc. And then at the end, we will take up all the questions that will be there during the presentation. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and our team will keep a list of it, and then at the end of towards the end of it, we are going to take them one by one, right? So yeah, that's for today. So let's begin. What are CRM UI extensions? Okay, HubSpot, I briefly touched upon earlier. HubSpot has been, trying to make HubSpot as powerful as it is easy to use. Okay, it has been those who are like agency partners, they know that it has always been HubSpot's messaging. That's a very easy to use software, and anyone can get started very quickly. The time to value is very, very less. And now HubSpot is in a position where it is also want to be known as a powerful software, as a powerful CRM that is, the ease does not come at a compromise to the power that it can deliver. Okay. So that's where, and in that, towards that, positioning towards that offering, CRM UI extensions is a, key component of HubSpot's offering called CRM development tools. So HubSpot has launched a few set of, development tools available on the CRM side of things. And the purpose of these tools is to allow businesses to, transform their CRM UI so that teams which have huge number of users, like 500 people in the sales team or in the support team, and then many more people who are using HubSpot, all of that can easily adopt it. There is, processes which are adhered to. The heavy user adoption does not come at a compromise to the process being, thrown out of the window. They have a great experience on the CRM, and most importantly, the productivity of the people that are using the CRM, goes a notch above than what it was before using HubSpot, right? So that's what CRM UI extensions are. They are a key component of HubSpot CRM development tools, and they are aimed at, helping businesses transform the CRM UI to improve user adoption, user experience, and productivity, right? Uh, there is also, there is a technical part of the definitions which I'm coming to now, and I'll have Dhiraj share more on it. So these extensions that we are talking about, CRM UI extensions, these are built using React for front end and HubSpot serverless functions, which are essentially which require Node.js for back end operations. So that's the technical composition of these UI extensions is. And Dhiraj, if you want to, share more with respect to, does I need to be like, what level of React I need to be at as a developer or in my team to, think about leveraging these UI extensions, basically.
Yeah. So it doesn't need a very deep understanding of React as such, because what HubSpot does that HubSpot created some components, some key components, which only those components can be used to create a CRM extension card.
Okay.
And in serverless functions, you can directly go to any API call or anything on Postman and then use that code directly back into serverless functions. So it doesn't require very much as such experience in development, but a little bit of understanding that how Node.js works or how React works is expected.
Okay. All right. So yeah, that devs in the audience or the team leads in the audience, if you have a developer which have probably 1 year of React experience, is that, Dhiraj, correct to say, like a developer with a year of React or Node.js experience should be expected to
Yeah. I mean,
understand.
that's more than enough.
That's more than
I,
enough.
I started working on it without any knowledge of React, and then I got a hang of it. So I think it's easier.
Okay, great, great. So yeah, there is some technical, most of the HubSpot features so far have been very non-tech friendly, but this definitely is not one of those. It does require some tech, knowledge, but it's not like the barrier to entry is not very high. It's in fact very, very low from a technical knowledge standpoint. Uh, so that's about CRM UI extensions. We also want to, clarify with something which was earlier available in HubSpot called as custom CRM cards. So how UI extensions are different because this is a common question that we have come across within our team, as well as we also see this in communities around HubSpot, which HubSpot developers are part of. That how these UI extensions are different from CRM cards which were already available in HubSpot custom CRM cards. So just sharing some of the key differences. Uh, so CRM UI extensions are part of HubSpot private apps. Custom CRM cards are part of HubSpot public apps. Dhiraj, I should ask you like if you want to detail out the private apps and the public apps and how the two are different essentially.
Yeah. So what HubSpot has does that you can create a project to your HubSpot account, and then in HubSpot account, when you create a project, you create a private app with the project. And private app is account specific. It can be hosted in any single account. Every account can have their own private apps, and the limit of like 100 private apps per account is the limit right now. um, Public apps is something which you find on app marketplace. You can create a public app, and then in HubSpot developer account you can create a public app, and then um, any HubSpot account can install that, and then they can use all the functionalities provided by that public app. But private accounts are very specific to the account, to HubSpot account.
Okay. So on the app marketplace, any app that I see which I'm able to install, for example, whether that's Google Calendar or some Stripe integration, those all are public
Those
apps.
are all public apps. Yeah.
All right. Uh, the next difference that is there is CRM UI extensions are built for user interaction. Custom CRM cards are more read-only with minimal interactive elements. If any of you would have used a custom CRM, and just by the way, if something is very new to the ecosystem, then I should also mention like when we say CRM cards. If you open any contact or any record in HubSpot, contact or deal or ticket or company, what you see on the right hand side, those are all CRM cards. Now, custom CRM cards essentially are the ones which do not come by default in HubSpot. They appear because you installed an app, installed a public app onto your HubSpot instance, and that's how they are appearing on the right hand side panel. So just wanted to clarify that. If you would have used that, I have used, like we have installed a lot of apps on our HubSpot instance and we see those custom CRM cards and we can see there is some data that we are able to see. For example, the QuickBooks integration, we can see on that, like the invoices being attached and all those information. But there is not really a lot of, action that I can take on that CRM card. I can just read that information on my deal record. But if I want to change that information, that I am not able to do that. Whereas CRM UI extensions are something which are built for interaction. They are built for uh, there are forms, there are buttons, etc., with which me as the user of the CRM can interact, and that's gonna make some change in one place or many. Um, Anything from a Dheeraj, if you want to like on this particular point, if there's
Also
anything that you
tables.
want to. Yeah.
Also,
Okay.
tables are available to you, so you can create a very whatever the UI you want. Like it uses Flex for UI, and then you can create all the boxes and all the components there. You can create all the forms, buttons, and those interactive elements, and then you can even connect to your third-party API extensions. We will discuss that later. So that is also possible there.
Okay. So in terms of the components, since you mentioned that which are available in CRM UI extensions, could you just mention a few like the popular ones which are available in UI extensions? That,
Like table, like CRM card associations, so you can pull the associated CRM cards and show it as a table. You can create a form, you can create a button, you can uh, you can display the data as you want. So like you can create a text field and then create however the data you want to show there, you can create that, and all the elements will look like as a HubSpot elements because that's very interconnected, right? So the CSS will apply on itself, right?
okay. And when you said I can create a form. So then, does this form only will have text field, or it can have like various
I can
kinds
have
of
any field,
views?
any field.
It can have any field. Okay. So I can have
Select,
drop downs and I can have numbers.
radio, select anything.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting. All right. And when it comes to custom CRM cards, so we do have seen some, CRM cards which allow me to click a button and then that opens a pop-up, and then I can do things within that pop-up. So there is interaction happening on custom CRM cards also. Can you help us distinguish like how the interaction on UI extensions is different from that interaction I'm doing on the CRM card?
Yeah, so when you do interaction on CRM card, so that is an iframe. Whenever you
Okay.
create a public app, you provide a link to CRM cards, which opens as an iframe, and then you can do whatever you want to do on that iframe, whatever the UI you want to build, whatever the components you want to put there, you can do that. But the point is that it has to be hosted on some third party integration. That URL is coming from some third party,
Okay.
right? So that
Okay.
is what is different, because here in UI extensions you can create all the elements and that will live on HubSpot itself.
Okay. Okay. So basically, all those interactions I'm not doing on HubSpot. Those interactions I'm
No,
doing someplace
that is
outside of
happening on the
HubSpot.
public app. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. And they are just showing as a pop-up or iframe, like you said, inside HubSpot.
yeah,
But
exactly,
my actions are happening someplace else. Okay.
exactly.
All right. That's helpful. If any questions are coming, we will definitely take a look at that. Simran, do please, make a list of those. Um,
I think Miguel
CRM,
is Miguel is asking about this only.
okay. The difference between the
Yeah,
two?
no,
Uh,
UI extensions are available on the enterprise subs only.
Okay. Yeah. So with respect to CRM cards and UI extensions, okay. So yeah, just to answer Miguel your question, CRM UI extensions at this point are available either with Sales Hub Enterprise account or Service Hub Enterprise accounts. The custom CRM cards are depending on whoever has built that app. They can make it available on all HubSpot products and tiers. The possibility is there, but whoever's like if it's your own public app, then it's your wish where you want which HubSpot plans and tiers you want it to work with. But CRM UI extensions at this point are strictly available only on Sales and Service Hub Enterprise accounts. Okay. Um, so hope that answers. Uh, Again, what Dhiraj touched on a little bit earlier in our discussion, CRM UI extensions are hosted on HubSpot. So whether you are, showing data from a third-party application on the UI extension or HubSpot data itself, or taking input which you are, sending to a third party, all of that functionality is hosted on HubSpot. Whereas custom CRM cards, those are hosted outside of HubSpot. There's a middleware, there's a separate server where all of that functionality that you are using from inside HubSpot is happening. Okay. So yeah, that's one of the another key difference between CRM UI extensions versus custom CRM cards. Uh, Okay, so moving on to some use cases, and for this we will first start with a bit of a small video that we have where we can show like how these UI extensions look. We did talk about they look as if they are like HubSpot's functionality only. Let's just take a look. What do we mean by that? Uh, So as you can see on my screen, this is a contact record. Okay. On this contact record, what is happening essentially is let this pull up again. Is this custom card in the center, like where you see activity timeline, there is a custom card. There are names of restaurants, and whichever restaurant I choose, I can open their menu. Okay. So as you can see this menu button, I select items from the menu, they get added to my cart. There's the total, and then I can click on checkout. So this is something which is built till this point. Obviously, the next steps of actually placing this order out, the payment processing is also something which can be further built inside this. Like once you hit checkout, it takes you to the payment gateway. You make the payment, and that's done. Okay. So this is just a very unique example, a bit ad hoc also. But yeah, this is as you can see, none of this looks outside of HubSpot, and it is actually not. That's why, right? You see like how you would see options inside HubSpot. You can do selections like Dhiraj mentioned. There are various types of forms are available, so you can have check boxes, etc. And once you take that action, then the next step happens, where is the total of the amount and the card creation, and then typing a message and submitting all of it together, right? So that's essentially how the scope of or the possibilities are there with CRM UI extensions. And we are going to look at a few more industry or our business use cases that we have come across when it comes to CRM UI extensions. And then I hope that gets your brain going on what it could be for your particular business or your clients, right? Uh, So going back, I'll just start something again. Okay, so going to the use cases. So this is one use case that we have, which is of a real estate SaaS company. So basically, the context is that the SaaS company offers multiple products to its customers. The customers are property management groups who manage multiple properties. The products are sold at the property level. Okay. So basically, there are softwares that a SaaS business has. These softwares are sold to companies who manage various multiple properties, and these softwares get deployed on at individual property level. So you can imagine that when you are a salesperson for this SaaS company, then you are talking to the property management group, and they say, okay, we have 10 properties under our management. We want to try your products on 4 of them to begin with. Okay. And then out of all your product offerings, we want to try, say, product number 1 for property number 1, and product number 2 for the rest of the 3 properties. So it becomes quite important for me as a salesperson, right, to be able to associate which software I sold to which property, because I have 2 upsell opportunities here, 2 upsell cross-sell. One, the products I did not sold on, which are not yet deployed on any of the properties that I sold to at least one product. So those products I can sell. And second, that property management group has 6 more properties where I have not sold anything. So down the line, once they are happy with the software, I can reach back to them and ask them to take these softwares and deploy them on the 6 properties that they have. And in future also more, they could like the property management group will definitely acquire more properties. All right. So I will always have this upsell, cross-sell opportunity, and being able to quickly identify it within HubSpot is eventually the challenge that is there, because when I'm talking, I create a deal and I add the product, or I add the property to the deal, and then mention my line items that I sold software one, software two, but I am not able to you know mention that, okay, I sold this software one on property one, two, and three. There is no place where I can do that. So either as a salesperson, I create one deal for one property, which is again hectic, or I go to the property custom object and there, mention for each of the property custom object what I sold to them. So Dheeraj, something of something like this, can this be solved with CRM UI extensions?
Yeah, so of course, so you can create a UI for that, for mapping of apartments, properties, and the software products. And whenever some on, you can show it on the contacts or deals wherever you want, and then a salesperson can see that, okay, this deal is happening with this company, and this company has this many products, properties, and they want to buy this many products. So you can create a map of that and then show it there, so that, so whenever a new request will come, or whenever the company will contact you, the salesperson can go and see that what has happened, right? uh,
Okay.
Mapping one to many or many to many is not very easy in HubSpot, and you don't want to create a custom object for everything, right? So you
Yeah.
just want somewhere, it has to be somewhere, so that you can just see that what is happening, and then you can contact to the customers and then solve their issues. You just want a
Understood.
visibility of your or your data.
Okay. And then basically, so what you are suggesting is that on the deal, like because I'm a salesperson, when I'm creating that deal with the company that I'm talking to, on that deal only, I can maybe fetch the properties for which
Yeah,
they are buying from me.
yeah,
And against each of those properties, I can mention which software they are buying from me,
exactly,
right? And save this
exactly.
information.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. So then, okay, great. Then this saves me basically the pain of creating only one deal for each property so that my line items match one to one.
yeah,
I don't have to do that. And then I guess another pain point that it solves is that when I'm creating my quote for this company, uh, I can use that information that I have just input, that
yeah, exactly.
which property I sold which software. So for the end user also it helps that they see in the quote, okay, these are the line items, these are the products being sold, and these are the units. Like I sold like software one to three properties, and software two to one property. So they can see all of that, which they were seeing already. But now they can also see like which software is being sold to which property.
Yeah,
Um, so that helps them.
actually,
Okay.
the data transparency. So of course, the client will be able to see better way. Your salesperson can you see the data in a better manner, so everyone can have like better visibility of the data.
Yeah. Okay. And then if I have to go back and see like which properties, like obviously I have that relationship where my company is associated with my basically the property management group is associated with all the properties they own. So I can just run a report which says show me the properties which do not have any product yet, uh,
Yeah,
like that, right? And then I can identify, okay, I deal with this property management group, they are my customer, but these are the properties where I can further sell because these properties do not are not yet using my software, right?
yeah,
Okay. Cool. So quite a few problems solved, starting with sales productivity, then a better customer experience for the end user, because in the code they can see which software they have purchased for which property. And then when I have to go upsell or cross sell, I can quickly identify um, exactly where what opportunity exists in there. Uh, all right. Cool. Moving on to the next use case. This is a fairly common one. I guess most people will be able to relate to it, which is basically tech and customer support collaboration. We ourselves, because we have, like Nisway has quite a few apps and products on the HubSpot marketplace. So we ourselves use HubSpot's service hub for ticketing, and any customer queries, bugs, etc., being reported. So those the customer reports them on our customer portal or through email, and that creates a ticket in HubSpot for us. And then some of those tickets require to be reported to tech, because those are bugs and they need to be solved, or sometimes feature requests, and our tech definitely does not work on HubSpot. That's not their project management tool, or their bugs queue. So they work someplace else. And now once this bug is being reported to them, then the support team has to constantly ping tech with respect to the status of this bug, with respect to the updates which are there on this bug, and that really bugs the tech team. So, is this again, fairly, I think, very common scenario when it comes to customer support and tech. So, is this something like how do we go about solving this with CRM UI extension?
That's where the third party API integration comes into picture. So you can create a CRM UI extension card, which will show the queue status or a number
The
of bug
updates on
queues.
the card.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And then you can put it on the tickets. And then
Okay.
when the customer, uh, when the CS will open the ticket, then they can see that what are the bugs queue there for that ticket, and then they can use to track the updates.
Got it. So whatever the tech team is, whatever updates the tech team is making on the tickets in the project management software, those can be pulled over and shown on the HubSpot ticket itself.
Yeah,
So whenever the support team needs to uh, share the update with the customer, or just want to take a look at it, just to get an idea of how soon this can be solved, all of that is available within HubSpot ticket itself.
yeah.
Okay. And how does this, how does my project management system will know that this is the ticket where this update should sync in? Like, how
So
are we making that connection between?
so it can be done in two ways. One, that ticket can the bug queue can be created on the ticket itself, so that it will have the field of like ticket ID. In the bug queue, the ticket ID will go, and then it will fetch that for that ticket ID itself.
Okay.
Or whenever someone is creating a bug, project manager creating a bug in the bug queue, then they can put the ticket ID there so that it will understand that which.
Okay, okay. So saying it is also possible that in HubSpot itself, using CRM UI extensions, we can give them a form and a button which
Exactly.
creates a ticket in the ticket management, in the
Yeah.
bug management system.
Some require fields which the CS person will fill up, and then it
Yeah.
can create a bug ticket.
Oh, that's smooth. Nice. Okay. So again, very very use case which we just discussed, being and I'm sure a lot of businesses will be having this use case, which again CRM UI extension solves very elegantly. Um, Going on to the next use case, which is essentially of a luxury travel business. So this business organizes custom trips for its customers to various destinations across the globe. Now, the sales team has to manage the trip price, costs, and profits in two, three currencies for every deal. Because the customer, they need to invoice the customer in the customer's currency, right? They need to do their own reporting in the company's currency. So if the company is located in US, then they'll do the billing in US. They'll do their own reporting in US dollar. So that's another currency to be maintained. And if the customer wants to go to a destination, say Africa, then when this company is organizing the trip, they are talking to vendors and suppliers in Africa, be that hotels, car rental companies, etc. And that currency, basically the supplier side currency, is basically the third currency that they have to deal with, because all their core costs are being handled in that supply side currency. So in such a case, as a salesperson, I'm doing just a lot of currency conversion when quoting the customer, putting deal amount in the CRM in HubSpot, and that definitely is one eating up my time and making a lot of errors, because all of this I'm just doing manually. So is there something which CRM UI extensions can take care of?
Yeah, so here also the third party app integration comes into the picture, because you can
Yes.
subscribe to any currency conversion API and then connect it directly to your UI extensions.
Okay.
And whenever you put any currency, it will convert it in all the currencies you want, right? And then you can use different currencies for different purposes. So if you're creating an invoice for your travel partner in Africa, then you can put that currency. And if you are invoicing your customer in different currency zone, then you can put different currency. And then for yourself, for your reporting, you can have a different currency. So real-time currency conversion is something it's there in HubSpot, but that uses a public API, public apps.
Okay.
Again, it's happening on the third party system and happening on the middleware.
Okay.
But now the UI extensions are solving that inside HubSpot itself.
Okay. Um, okay. So I think I'm not very clear on how, like, the interface, like how will I initiate that? So for example, on the deal I have mentioned my trip price I have quoted, because my customer is from the US, so I've quoted the price in USD, say USD 5,000. Now, how I am initiating the conversion of this trip price into my own company's currency, which you can say is Canadian dollars, and also in the local currency. For example, let's just say they're coming to India, so INR, let's just say. So how
So
can I initiate that, basically?
no, so your deal amount will have one currency, right? So you can
Yeah.
have it like in dollar, suppose
Okay.
USD, right?
Yeah.
Your UI extension can pick that amount and then convert it into multiple currencies real time.
Yeah.
And then uh, while creating the quotations, you can create the quotations from UI extension itself, right? While creating the quotations, you can choose that which currency you want to use, and then
Okay.
the line item will convert into that currency, and then the amount will be converted to that currency, and then it will go away.
Okay. Okay. So this conversion that has happened, currency, so you converted it to Canadian dollars as well as INR. Then do like basically these two currencies, do they also get stored in my deal in separate properties, or do they are they not stored anywhere?
You can use custom properties to store that. Of
Okay.
course, it will be interesting for you to have to look at these conversions on your reporting part. So it will be it will be, I mean, important to save those currency in custom properties, and then create whenever you want to create a report on it, you can work on that properties.
Okay, okay. So I store my deal amount in one currency, and then that gets detected. That gets converted into the other currencies I want it to get converted into, and get stored in my custom deal properties. So I can do my reporting and everything, and also invoice the customer in their own currencies and invoice my supplier in their respective currencies. Got it.
Yeah.
Pay my suppliers in their currencies. Got it. Okay. That's some, nice use case. Okay. Now, another use case that we have of commodity trade. So this is a business that trades commodities like chemicals, nuts, other raw materials or petrochemical products, etc. Right. So that's what this business trades to its customers. They have an in-house inbuilt system for inventory and pricing. As you would be aware that the prices of commodities change a lot in a very short span of time, sometimes multiple times within a day. So whenever the salespeople use HubSpot, and the salespeople are using basically HubSpot as their CRM. So whenever the customer requires or inquires for a new, commodity or wants to place an order for any commodity, the salespeople are required to look in the inventory system, see, check out the inventory, check out the price for that inventory and how long that price is valid for, and then share these details with the customers. So again, checking two systems, and because the inventory system is in-house, it does not have a great user experience. That's essentially the challenge that how does can sales do this within a single system and improve their productivity.
Yeah, I think we implemented this for a customer.
Okay.
So what you can do that you can create a deal. You can create a deal with like zero deal amount, and then based on some parameters, it will go check the real time price and then update the price. So what we did that we created this one single button,
Okay.
uh, update price, and then when your deal is created based on all the parameters your deal has and their customers associated customer and contacts has, it will go onto the third party system. It will fetch the real price and then update it on the deal itself.
Okay. So, what you're saying is essentially I can have my deal and maybe associate with it a line item, like the product that the customer is inquired for.
Yeah,
And based on that line item, and then I can click a button on my UI on my deal interface, which goes and check the current price of that line item and then
and then update the line
updates
item.
that. Okay, update the price of the. Okay. All right. So as a salesperson, I only have to click a button. Like I'm doing everything that I was earlier doing in HubSpot, which is adding the line item and etc. And now I don't have to go to my now system, log in there and check the prices and then put them here manually. But I can just click a button and everything will get updated.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's amazing.
And
All
Miguel
right.
has this question. No, Miguel, you don't require any middleware for that. Everything can be hosted directly on uh, HubSpot. UI will come through the CRM extension cards, and all the backend activity will be done by the serverless functions.
All right. So that's quite a handful of use cases, which and just we have discussed like four use cases, Dheeraj. So uh, I mean, in all of these uses, were these feasible to solve earlier with when CRM UI extensions was not there?
Uh,
Um,
Yeah, of course, it was feasible to solve, but the point is that you needed a public API, you needed a middleware, you needed someone, a developer account to maintain that app. Yeah, you needed a server, another server where you maintain that app, and you connect through the middleware, and then do all the calculations on the middleware, and show the data on iframes in HubSpot, right?
okay.
So
Okay.
it's not very coupled system. Earlier it was not very coupled system, but this can now this can be very uh, you say that it's very connected platform where you won't be able to distinguish that what is happening in the HubSpot and what is coming from the third party.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we saw that in that small clip.
Yeah,
Uh, that it's quite from a end user perspective, it's quite seamless. And what basically you are saying is that it was earlier also feasible, just the approach has now completely changed, and the approach has become a lot more simpler.
yeah,
I guess a lot more secure, and also in terms of maintaining that, it has now become a lot more easier, right?
yeah.
So
And
earlier,
also, data security is another part where people are here afraid of
yeah,
using public apps. They don't want their data to go to any other system and then live there. So now that everything is on HubSpot, you can have all the data in HubSpot itself, right? You don't
yeah.
have to go to any other platform to save the data.
Okay. So data security improves, maintenance, I can say, has gone down a lot, like in term
Yeah,
the time you'll have to spend on maintenance.
yeah.
And then does the building time also get shortened? Like if I have
Yeah,
to
it has
solve it,
reduced
I'll,
a lot. It has reduced a lot
okay,
because earlier you need to create, you'll have to fire up an app, you'll have to create a middleware and then provide those middleware URLs in return URL, then CRM card URL, and then those things, right? You'll have to create the all those things there, and then you maintain your developer server, and then you will be able to generate an app. Right now, what you can do in UI extensions that you can use HubSpot CLI, and in one or two click it will be up, and
okay,
then you can also it provides a HubSpot developer sandbox where you can just uh, test your integrations there, and then once everything is all right, then you can deploy it on the live server.
okay. Okay. So deploy it on your actual account when you say live server, like there
Yeah,
is no
exactly.
separate server you need
No,
anymore.
live
Yeah.
account, HubSpot live
Yeah.
account.
Okay. All right. So my turnaround time goes down. So okay. So basically, my time to value has further gone down with CRM UI extensions. Great. Um, so let's took we discussed some of the use cases. I hope that has fired some thoughts in your heads with respect to where next to deploy CRM UI extensions or try them out. And then we'll get back on that in the Q&A also. If you have very specific questions with respect to your particular use case, happy to discuss that and suggest how you can go about implementing it. But yeah, just take a look at some of the best practices that are there in place when it comes to starting your CRM UI extension journey. Yeah. So some implementation best practices. Uh, First one, a whiteboard first approach. This is important to mention because you just like Dheeraj described like how powerful things are. It's a lot faster. It requires less maintenance. Everything is just you feel like you've got such great power. So it is important like to be actually able to create value from it. You just think of the solution first, whiteboard your solution out before going inside and then starting building. Obviously, the devs who want to practice, that's what you want to do. Go inside and start building something random, something very very basic. Uh, but yeah, from a business standpoint, if you see a challenge like those previous challenges that we talked about, it's important that you define those first properly, whiteboard the approach that you want to take. Dheeraj and I were having a discussion, with respect to being certain that CRM UI extensions is your best approach to solve this problem because HubSpot, along with CRM UI extensions, has launched a few other things that help you customize the UI. That's the middle column layout that you get now. So you can use that. Some cards you can create via that also. So it's important that you whiteboard the solution first, and arrive at, okay, this is how the problem will be solved with CRM UI extensions, and then go ahead and get it implemented. Okay. Uh, so that's for actual business use cases that needs to be solved. Developers, please go ahead and have fun. Anything you want to add to it, Dheeraj, on this? Being doing the whiteboarding first before jumping right into uh,
Yeah,
building or
what I have
something.
seen that most of the requirements can be solved directly using custom cards or using uh, custom actions. Or if you have enterprise, then you also get custom code actions, right?
Yeah,
So you
ops
just
up,
want
operations
exactly.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you just want to manipulate the data, you just want to update the data, or just want to save some data into some properties, you can use custom code actions. Uh, it, Similarly, there are various custom cards which is now available, where you can have the associated uh, contacts shown on the middleware, on the middle pane. uh, so those things are also available now. So it's just that you'll have to check that if the use case has not been solved with any other solutions, then it should be the last approach. Otherwise, just creating a HubSpot UI extensions and then realizing that it could have been solved with some other things which is already provided in HubSpot, it will be a waste of time and effort, right? So that's like, just to realize that other solutions are not working here, and this is the solution I want, and this can be only created through UI extensions. So that is the approach I think is the best.
Yeah, I think a few decision-making questions that you can ask yourself is, as the name CRM UI extension, so there's UI in the name itself, right? So what you want to customize in the HubSpot UI, HubSpot CRM, is that, like Dheeraj said earlier, is it just data that you want to, process and manipulate and then store it back? Or you actually want to customize some UI component where your users can interact, and that triggers the data manipulation, etc. Right? So do ask yourself that do I want my user to interact with something and that further then kicks off the rest of the workflow, or with the current setup only I can just take a trigger and do my manipulation and then store the data back into, whether I want to store it in a third party system or in, store it back in HubSpot in some other object. So just ask yourself that, with like Dheeraj mentioned, Ops Hub professional and enterprise plans come with custom coded workflow actions, which allow you to do the data manipulation part very, very smoothly. Right. And because there is no UI involved in what you want to achieve, then that's a faster way to realize value. Okay. So do ask yourself that question, whether a UI is necessary, or you can do it without the UI when it comes to customizing a spot. Okay. I think the second question that one could ask themselves is in terms of um, uh, whether the customization that you are looking for is something with respect to you want to leverage some third party data or some other systems data, or is it more of a data from an associated object record, for example? Because for associated object record, you now get CRM cards, which you can create from right inside HubSpot. Again, those are also available in enterprise plans. And these, when we are saying now these CRM cards, these are like, they don't require a developer or any developer effort. So we'll share about those also as form of links, so you can familiarize yourself with those as well. And then when a use case comes your way, you can take the best approach for that particular use case. So that's one thing. Now the second thing is basically checking the technical limitations of the external system you want to connect with HubSpot. While it might be exciting to think that all of this is possible now, but you need to realize you are, interacting. Like there is not just HubSpot in place. In like in most of the use cases discussed earlier, the HubSpot was one software, and then there was another software from which we were, getting the data or converting the currencies, or etc. Right. So do check out that other external system that you want to connect with HubSpot. See what are the technical limitations there. Do they have the relevant API endpoints? Are there any rate limits there? It is possible that they everything is there and you can connect, but things like rate limits, etc., are something for which you need to account for when you are building that CRM UI extension and writing your serverless function. So do basically be very thorough with those things when you are trying to go ahead and implement your first CRM UI extension. Dheeraj, any pitfalls that you have seen ourselves or other people falling into when it comes to building the first CRM UI extension with respect to connecting it with an external system?
No. So my right hand rule is always use Postman. So if you're connecting to any third party system anywhere, use Postman. Now Postman also provide you code snippets, right? So you can fire any API and it provides you directly the code snippets which you can use in the your serverless functions. So these are some things which is like, if you're writing by yourself, there is a chance that you will make some mistakes, uh, but you can just copy the code from there, right? So those things are available now. So uh, go for that. Whatever the resources you have available, go for those resources. uh, do the development in sandbox. Don't do direct development on demo portal, on live accounts. Do the development on the developer sandbox accounts, and then once you are satisfied with all the checks and balances, then move it on the main account. Yeah. Several functions fail because majorly two things fails. Like one is some API request uh, it doesn't return the same data which you expect. So try and catch there, so that it will fail gracefully, and then your CRM extension UI should be able to understand what happened there. So print the error message directly to the UI extensions, right? So these things are very basic things which any developer should take care of, right? These are also applicable to here also. There is a question that React Native was dropped by Meta. Will it impact how we create or maintain CRM extensions? Yeah, so it's not like you are completely you can use React directly on UI extensions. HubSpot provides some components of UI extensions which can be used in uh, uh, some React components which can be used in UI extensions, and HubSpot maintain those components. So if HubSpot drops those components, then of course they will provide new ways to do that. Otherwise, I don't think there is any impact as such right now. Anyway, React has been open source, and then a lot of others people are maintaining now rather than Meta. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, that was helpful. And then the last thing is the current technical limitations of CRM UI extensions. We do have make the link to for you guys to check it out once you get this slide deck. Dheeraj, if you want to just quickly touch upon, don't want it to be very technical, but yeah.
Yeah, as I
Any
says
top
that
of that? Yeah.
yeah, as I says that you're bounded by some components which provide HubSpot provides, and then the second thing that you can't have third party request on UI directly. It will have to have on serverless functions. React provides you a way to invoke third party request on UI itself, but HubSpot blocks that. So these are some limitations. It's been documented pretty well. Some version limitations are also there. So for local development, you need a certain node versions. So that is also a required thing. So these limitations are really well documented.
Okay. So, okay. So then, basically take care of these things, know if, be certain that this is the approach you want to take. You have whiteboarded it, what you are going to implement. Check the limitations, like Dheeraj said, of this external system you want to connect. Go to Postman and see, copy, like try copy the code more often than not, because most of these are popular softwares. So copy the code as much as possible instead of writing new code yourself. That helps just ensuring that you are not making some manual or errors, or skipping certain things which are required. And then the last thing is the technical limitations piece, which are there on from the HubSpot's end on UI extensions. And these, like Veera said, are well documented. So before you begin to take a look at these limitations and plan your implementation accordingly. Yeah. So now some getting started, resources. So the prerequisites, like earlier mentioned, UI extensions right now can only be deployed on Sales or Service Hub enterprise accounts. Though there's a good news, I don't know how many of you are aware, but HubSpot recently announced the new pricing structure, which is going to be rolled out on March 5th, 2024. Uh, so what it has does is basically lowered the entry point for enterprise, plans. Earlier, if you have to buy a sales enterprise plan, you were to buy minimum 10 licenses to begin with. Same was the case for Service Hub. Now you can begin at one license. So if you want to try out CRM UI extensions and you have no plans of Sales or Service Hub, just buy one seat on Sales Enterprise or Service Hub Enterprise, which is going to cost you somewhere between $120 to $150. Right, and you can customize. You can basically use all these features, all these capabilities that we just discussed. So it's quite reasonable in that sense that from March of 2024 you will be able to use these advanced CRM customization UI extension features without have to empty your bag for that. You can just take one seat of any of these plans and then do these customizations in your CRM, right? So that's one prerequisite. Second prerequisite is the work on CRM UI extensions happens on HubSpot CLI. A private app is a necessary component. Node.js, because serverless functions are written in Node.js, and then React.js because the UI components are React.js components. So that having a working level knowledge of these is a must. Like Dheeraj mentioned earlier, you don't have to be an expert in these languages. Just a working level knowledge will suffice for you to go ahead and build CRM UI extensions. Dheeraj, anything you want to add or emphasize on when it comes to the technical aspects over here?
No, CLI is the most important part here. All the CMS developers are already been using the CLI, so they are very familiar with those concepts. So all the front end developers who are working on HubSpot are really familiar with these topics. So it's not very complex thing. So that's what when I said that it doesn't require expertise in these topics. So
Great.
entry
So one can
entry is really easy.
okay. Okay. So Yeah, with basics covered, one can start building and learn and improve from there. Uh, cool. So those are the really two prerequisites that you definitely need to start building on CRM UI extensions. Then some resources that we have for you. So one is the CRM, the developer documentation that HubSpot has. We have put a link over here. You can go ahead and check it out once you get the deck. It has all the resources from step one to step n essentially. Um, and then the CRM customization bootcamp. This is a bootcamp that HubSpot has launched on 31st of Jan, I believe. Uh, the first boot camp has already started, so Dheeraj, people can't really enroll now, right?
Yeah,
In this
no,
first.
no, yeah.
Okay, so that the first week has already happened, but
Two
yeah,
weeks are only
two
happened.
weeks have happened now. It's a 6 week long boot camp.
Yeah, 6 weeks. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it's a 6 week long boot camp. 2 weeks have already happened, but HubSpot plans to do it at least twice a year. So do go on the bootcamp page and subscribe for updates. So whenever it happens next time, you get a chance to enroll and learn firsthand, hands-on with Dhiraj and other instructors on how to build on the HubSpot CRM eventually. Yeah. So that's eventually all from myself and Dheeraj. Yeah, happy to take your questions. Thank you. I'll just start share. I believe Dheeraj, you have answered most of these questions that we have so
All
far.
the questions I have taken.
Okay. Any other questions that anyone is having?
Deepak, in case someone does not have a question right now, but they have it later, what do you recommend? How do they reach out to us?
Yeah, I think they can reach out to us on our website. Uh, and we can maybe mention our emails in the deck itself, so they can write to us on email as well.
Okay. Cool, yeah,
Yeah, so
because I
there's
a lot of people
sorry,
might go back, try, then they may
yeah,
have more questions. Right? That can happen.
definitely, definitely,
Also, we are there on the HubSpot developer Slack, so you can connect with us over there also. All of us are
yeah.
there.
There is this one question, Deepak. The price
Price
change
change.
from, yeah.
This March is only for new customers or old customers as well. It is for new customers, but if, like I said, if you do not own any plan of Service Hub or Sales Hub, then when you go and you say I want to buy a Sales Hub Enterprise, then this price change applies to you. So you can buy just one seat. Even so, for example, we are using Marketing Hub, but do not use Sales Hub or Service Hub. And then when you go from 5th March onwards to buy Service or Sales Hub, you can just buy with this new pricing and tiering essentially. Uh, Akash, I hope that answers. Great.
Also, Deepak, in that sense, can I switch from the current pricing model to the new pricing model? Is that a possibility?
That's a workaround. I've thought about it. I've not confirmed with anyone at HubSpot yet. But if you are on the current pricing model, I assume in most cases you will have that many users. Like taking our examples, the number of users we have, all of those seats are occupied. So good. I know the new model offers more flexibility. But if you have 5 people already assigned using the sales seats, then I don't see how you can do that job with one enterprise seat. So, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. No, just curious. I mean, maybe somebody's using 5 seats because there was no other option, right?
yeah.
I
In
thought,
those cases, yeah, I think you should definitely check with our HubSpot, CSM teams, CSM folks, and check with them what is the possibility with respect to that.
okay, cool. And any plans to do more technical ones, more of this in detail going forward, or is it just restricted to bootcamp users right now? And any ideas you
Uh,
guys thought about this?
we just started and we really enjoyed doing this.
I mean, if developers are okay to join Hub, then I don't have any issue that we should not do the like technical sessions for this, right? We can
So
Nice.
create a live demo with them and then
Working
showing them
session.
how. Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Okay. So guys, if you're a developer or you have developers in your team or whoever, just write to us if there is enough interest, we can do that. Basically, that's what Dhiraj just said. So, yeah.
great. Mahesh, to answer your question, for the same hub, you can't combine Pro and Enterprise. For different hubs, you can definitely. So you can have your Service Hub on Pro and Sales Hub on Enterprise, but not for the same hub. You can't have 2 seats of Service Hub Pro and 1 seat of Service Hub Enterprise.
All right. There is a HubSpot fellow also on the group, right? So you can ask him all the questions you have. Although he's fairly new into the system, but still. Hey, Shashi, I hope you didn't mind that. People will flood you with HubSpot related questions. Okay, cool. I think we're already over time. So let's wrap this up unless we have any other question. Maybe last. Uh, okay, cool. We're good. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Thanks, Dheeraj, Deepak. It was really useful. I guess people will try it now and maybe come back. And like I said, if we have enough interest, we can do like Dheeraj mentioned, right? We can do a working session as well. So yeah, if you think you want to do that, feel free to reach out to us. The next one is not planned yet, so yeah, we could look at it. And thank you again for joining in. See you again
Thank
next
you,
quarter.
everyone. Yeah, see you soon.
Bye bye.